I'm Johnny Whitney. I'm 18 years old and I'm a senior at Choate Rosemary Hall. I've been to China 4 times already, and my first time to China was the summer after my freshman year. I had never spoken Chinese before and I had never been to China before, but I'd done some extensive traveling. After going to China the first time, I lived in the dorm for 2 weeks with other American students, 2 weeks with a Chinese host family, and then went for 1 week traveling. After that trip to China, I knew that I was hooked on going to China. Since then, I've been back 3 times, totaling in 4 experiences, 3 summer abroads and 1 term abroad during the academic year. They've all been living with host families, and because I think that's the best way to learn. You speak the whole day in Chinese, and you start to think in Chinese. After a while, I can recall having dreams in Chinese, actually. But it's not all about language learning. It's about learning about yourself and building self-confidence and becoming independent. Moreover, you get to learn about a culture so foreign to Americans. It's quite unique. I remember during last year when I went term abroad, it was my 3rd time going to China, and I wanted to experience something culturally. So I joined a Chinese gym. But I didn't just join Bally's Total Fitness or 24-Hour Fitness, American companies. I joined a local Chinese gym that was maybe a 5-minute drive from my house. But instead of driving, I got a public bus pass and decided to use public transportation to get there. That was the most interesting for me because along the way, well, the first few times I went, the fellow people on the bus would look at me and start talking about me, assuming I couldn't speak Chinese. And after a while, I started talking to them and building relationships with them. So every day I would see similar people. And then at the gym, I became friends with the trainers there. And after a while, we began to discuss American politics. And we even got to the war in Iraq, which was amazing. There are totally different viewpoints. Anyways, last summer was my 4th trip to China, and it was unbelievable because I could apply everything that I'd learned in the host families previously and in the classroom in America to a business internship I had, and really learn the cultural differences, not only in living with a family, but also in working in China and building relationships with businesses. And that was incredibly important aspect of the trip. So my plans for the future, I'm going to take a year off next year and defer my college acceptance for 1 year and go work in China for probably half of the year, studying Chinese, studying the culture, building relationships with people, because if you've been to China, you know it's not about what you know, but sometimes about who you know also, and the combination of the two is very important. Also, I'm planning on working there to further my knowledge of the business culture and how to work in a market so foreign to Americans. After that, I'll study a major in East Asian Studies in college and maybe go into international law, but I don't know. I definitely recommend going to China and learning about a culture and a country that some are surprised that it's even on the same globe as the United States.